Hello, happy Monday. I'm Laura from Managing Myself, and I'm here to make your days work better for you so that you're in control, you're getting more of the right stuff done, and you're spending more quality time with the people that mean the most to you. Welcome to my productivity tip of the week. Today I want to talk to you about rocks. Not metamorphic ones, but big ones. And I want to start with a story. You may have heard this before. It's a story made famous in the telling by Stephen Covey, who, amongst other things, wrote the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So, if you're ready, are you sitting comfortably? Then I will begin. So, once upon a time, there was a professor who sets a large glass jar on the table in front of him and begins placing large rocks in it until they reach the top. He asks his students if the jar is full, and they agree that it is indeed full. He then grabs some gravel from under the table and dumps that into the jar too, occasionally shaking it up and adding more until the gravel's filled up all the spaces in between the rocks. He asks the students again if the jar is full, and of course most of the class by this point is onto him and says probably not. The professor now pulls out a cup of sand. After dumping this into the jar, he asks again if the jar is now full. All the students can now see the writing on the wall and shout no. The professor gives a wry smile and then pours a nearby glass of water into the jar until it brims to the top, and he declares, now it is full. And they all lived happily ever after. Now, why am I telling you all of this? The point of this is that there is almost always, more that we can fit into our jars of life, but only if we prioritise what it is that we're adding first. Now, this is really, really important, so I'm going to say it again. There's almost always more we can fit into our jars of life, but only if we prioritise what we're adding first. If the big rocks aren't put into the jar before the gravel and the sand and the water, they won't fit. The small items consume the entire space. And I think so often we forget this lesson and we fill our schedules daily with the minutiae. But when we do this, we're really jeopardising achieving our bigger goals. We have to remember the big rocks, our important priorities, must come first. Now, you can take this lesson on a couple of levels. We can think about the big rocks overall in the context of our whole lives, and also we can think about it on a daily basis. What are the big rocks we need to tackle first today before letting the smaller bits and pieces trickle in? So to avoid being sidetracked by all that trivial stuff, I want you to ask yourself this. What are your big rocks? And what are the little rocks that get in your way? And what can you eliminate in order to make adequate space for your big rocks? So for me, the big rocks come in a couple of categories. Showing up meaningfully for my children. And this means being there to cheer them on at sports day or at their end of term concert or in their class assemblies. And this is an absolute non-negotiable for me. And if that means rearranging meetings at work, then I make that happen so that I can be there for the important moments in my kids' lives. Also, locking into my exercise classes is very much a big rock for me, as well as fulfilling my need for intellectual growth, which includes building this Managing Myself business, as well as lots and lots and lots of reading. Now, bottom line, the biggest rocks always comprise the major milestones in our works and our lives, so make sure you schedule time for the things that are important to you, in addition to your career, whether that be your children, your partner, your health, or your hobbies, for example. You probably have others. Because if you don't find time for these, you'll find yourself scrambling to do the things that are actually important. And if you're not careful, you'll wake up one day and discover that you've spent your life living for everyone else's priorities instead of your own. So let me know what your big rocks are and what you're going to do to make doubly sure you don't miss out on them. Have a great week with all of your rock climbing, and I'll see you same time, same place next week for another Happy Monday productivity tip of the week. I'll see you then.